I made every team's captain a 99 overall in NHL 24. Now, your captain not always is the best player on your team. He's supposed to be your leader, leading you to a Stanley Cup. That is the ultimate goal. And now we are going to be finding out which captains can do that here in the simulation, as I'm going to be going for 5 full seasons with everybody at an even playing field, as everybody is going to be a 99 overall. Nobody will be better than the other captain. This is all about true leadership and seeing who is the best leader in the entire league. So let's go ahead and see which players. I made a 99 overall in this game. So starting off, for the teams that do not have a captain like the Anaheim Ducks, I literally did not touch them. So if they go on to win a Stanley Cup, it is purely based on heart and not having a top end talent at a 99 overall. Starting off with the Boston Bruins, Brad Marchand, of course, is going to be their captain. He's up to a 99. Buffalo does not have a captain anymore. They traded him away. Calgary, no captain as well. The Carolina Hurricanes will have Jordan Staal. Chicago, no captain. Colorado, of course, has Gabriel Landeskog. The Columbus Blue Jackets have Bruce Jenner, who is related to Kim K and all the other Kardashians. Dallas, of course, will have Jamie Benn. The Detroit Red Wings will have Dylan Larkin. Edmonton, obviously, Connor McDavid. The Florida Panthers will have Alexander Barkov. LA will have long-standing captain Anze Kopitar at a 99. Minnesota will have Jared Spurgeon. The Montreal Canadiens, Nick Suzuki. Nashville is going to have the beauty that is Roman Josi. New Jersey will have Nico Hischier. The Islanders are going to have Andres Lee. The Rangers will have Jacob Trouba, who arguably is the best captain in the entire NHL. I mean, I'm sure it's up for debate. Ottawa will have Brady Tkachuk. Philadelphia will have Sean Couturier. Pittsburgh obviously is going to have Crosby. San Jose will have Logan Couture. Seattle does not have a captain anymore. They've only had one captain in their franchise's history, and that was Mark Giordano. St. Louis is going to have Braden Shen. Tampa Bay, obviously, Steven Stamkos. Toronto will have John Tavares, who has a massive contract. Vancouver is going to have Quinn Hughes. Vegas, Mark Stone. Washington will have the great one, Alexander Ovechkin. And Winnipeg will have Adam Lowry. Yes, Adam Lowry is the captain of the Winnipeg Jets. So now that we know every single player that I bumped up to a 99 overall, let's go ahead and simulate 5 full years, see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup, and see which captains are the best in the entire league. If you guys enjoy videos like this, help me get to 20,000 subscribers. We are oh so close, so if you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications in order that you get notified when I either go live or when I post a video. Now, at the end of season number 1, the Red Wings are going to finish as the best team in the NHL. They only won 47 games, which honestly is not a lot, especially for the President's Trophy winners. Toronto was up there, 49 wins, but less overtime losses. Vegas was good. Columbus was up there with Bruce Jenner. The Devils, Vancouver, and of course, the Edmonton Oilers. And at the bottom, we have Montreal, St. Louis, and Anaheim. I mean, Anaheim doesn't even have a captain. Connor McDavid's going to go absolutely off, leading in goals with 59 and points with 122, followed by Brad Marchand, who had 113. Bruce Jenner had 110. David Pastrnak, 104. Crosby, 103. Tkachuk was up there, had a very big season himself. Draisaitl, obviously, is going to produce very well. Barkov, Patrick Kane had a good season. And on the goal side, other than McDavid, Crosby had 57 on the season at 36 years old, back into his prime, basically, at a 99 overall. Andres Lee had 51, Stammer 50, Marchand 50. If we take a look at defenseman, Quinn Hughes is going to dominate, 91 points. Only 7 goals, which is, I mean, kind of low for him, in my opinion. And Jared Spurgeon is really the only other defensive captain, along with Roman Josi. Andrei Vasilevsky and Ilya Samsonov are going to tie for the lead in wins with 40. And for shutouts, it will go to Pavel Francouz, who had 5 on the season. Also a 910 save percentage. Korpisalo was good. Mrazek, Freddie Anderson, and Andrei Vasilevsky. And here we go. This is our year number 1 playoff bracket. Let's see who goes on and makes the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a rematch of 2022 between Colorado and Tampa Bay. So we have a 99 Stammer up against a 99 overall Gabriel Landeskog. Which captain is going to go on and lead their team to a Stanley Cup here in the first season? And this series would not even be close. The Tampa Bay Lightning are going to sweep Colorado in the finals, and Steven Stamkos is the first captain to lead his team to a Stanley Cup. I mean, he's already done it twice in real life, and now for the 3rd time in his career, he's going to get it done, as Tampa Bay has a very, very good roster already. They dominated Colorado, who, I mean, picked up a 99 overall Landeskog. And there it is, Steven Stamkos, Conn Smythe winner, 9 goals, 25 points, very well deserved. He is the best player on this roster now. I mean, he was early on in his career. Then Kucherov kind of emerged in like 2018, 19-ish. And he's been the best player since then. There it is, the Stanley Cup waiting to be raised yet again here in Tampa Bay for the 3rd time in Steven Stamkos' NHL career. So come on up, brother. You deserved it, as you are going to be the first captain to get the job done here in NHL 24, as the Tampa Bay Lightning will go all the way in season number 1. Nathan MacKinnon is going to go off in the playoffs, 14 goals, 27 points, followed by Stammer, who had 25. Kucherov was up there, a very good playoff run by him. Braden Point had 23, Rantanen 22, and Landy 21. McDavid is going to take home the Lindsay, the Maurice Richard, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. The Norris will go to Quinn Hughes, the Conn Smythe, of course, the Stammer. Thatcher Demko is going to win the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Jordan Staal. Of the Carolina Hurricanes, who now is back into his prime, or even better than he was in his prime, so I guess I should not be that shocked that he won the Selke. I mean, at the end of the day, he was a finalist, I believe, this season in real life. Now, at the end of the second season, Colorado is going to go ahead and be the best team in the regular season, winning 53 games, followed by Winnipeg. Carolina was up there, Boston, and Vegas. Of course, the defending champs and the Tampa Bay Lightning are always going to be dangerous. Brad Marchand is going to lead the league in scoring with 114 points, followed by Sean Couturier, who had 103. Kucherov was up there. Bedard had 100, as well as David Pastrnak. I did not even touch Connor Bedard, and he's up to a 90 or 89 overall. Now, if we take a look at the goals side, Alexander Ovechkin will lead with 57, followed by Marchand, who had 55. Kaprizov, 53. Crosby, 52. Kyle Connor was up there. Stammer had a good season. McKinnon, 50 goals, and no Austin Matthews in sight. How many goals did he have? He had 40 goals on the season. Austin Matthews, you are not performing well, and it's most likely because all the other players or captains are a lot better than you. Roman Josi going to lead all defensemen in scoring, 24 goals, 94 points. Spurgeon had 77, but he was a -20. Jacob Trouba had a big season, 73 points, which I believe would be a career high for him. Yeah, by far a career high. He had 50 points back on Winnipeg in 18-19. Outside of that, he's mostly a goon who leads his team to conference finals. Maybe a Stanley Cup Finals, who knows? It's tied 2-2 in the Florida Rangers series. Ilya Samsonov and Ville Husso are going to have the most wins in the NHL, tied at 40. And for shutouts, it will go to Aiden Hill, who had 9, and Korpisalo, he had 7 on the season. Here we go yet again. This is our year number 2 playoff bracket. Which captain is going to lead their team to the Stanley Cup Finals? And it would turn out to be Mark Stone up against Steven Stamkos, the Tampa Bay Lightning back-to-back finals. They honestly could make all 5 in this video, considering how goddamn good that team is. But regardless, we have the head-to-head matchup of Stone, Mark Spleen Stone up against Steven. May not re-sign Stamkos. Let's see who's going to lead their team to a Stanley Cup. And the Vegas Golden Knights are going to dethrone the defending Stanley Cup champions in the Tampa Bay Lightning as they sweep them. They get Colorado some revenge, as Mark Spleen Stone will go on and lead his team to yet again another Stanley Cup, his second of his career. Obviously, they won last year in real life, but unfortunately got dominated. Well, not dominated, but they got beat down by the Stars in the first round. But here in year number 2, Vegas is going to go on. So we had the last 2, or technically one of the last 4 Stanley Cup winners. Anthony Mantha is going to win the Conn Smythe, 11 goals, 19 points, not even Spleen Stone. The Vegas LTIR Cheaters, what can you say about them? As they are going to be raising another Stanley Cup, this time winning it on the road, because it was kind of embarrassing how they won it on home ice and their fans weren't even that loud or didn't even go that crazy. I was honestly embarrassed to be an NHL fan. I mean, I guess Vegas is a hotter spot. Not as many hockey fans, but regardless, Mark Stone is going to be raising the Stanley Cup and bringing it back to the Vegas Strip. They are the Stanley Cup champions in year number 2. Steven Stamkos, Tyler Toffoli, and Nikita Kucherov, as well as Jack Eichel, are all going to tie for the most points at 20 in the playoffs. Mantha somehow won the Conn Smythe with only 19. Mark Stone had 17, Braden Point 17, and Pietrangelo 16. Brad Marchand is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Maurice Richard will go to Ovechkin, the Norris to Roman Josi, Mantha to Conn Smythe. Georgiev is going to win the Vezina, and the Selke again will go to Jordan Staal. I would like to know your guys' opinions. Let me know in the comments below who is the best captain in the NHL. Personally, for me, I mean, you can't go wrong with Crosby. Obviously, McDavid is the best player, but he's yet to win a Stanley Cup, but he's definitely up there. I mean, we saw where the Edmonton Oilers were at the beginning of the season, and I mean, he's a big part of that room and a big part of that locker room. He's grown into a very good leader in the NHL, so let me know who you guys think is the best leader or the best captain in the entire league. The Toronto Maple Frauds will go ahead and damn near win 60 games, winning the President's Trophy in the process, 122 points, followed by the Carolina Hurricanes. Vancouver was very good. Tampa Bay will always be up there. Detroit and LA. At the bottom, we have Arizona, Washington. Unfortunately, Ovi is not going to have a deep playoff run in store for him. Boston was surprisingly very bad, as well as Calgary, but Calgary kind of sucks. Steven Stamkos will go ahead and lead everybody in scoring with 111 points, followed by Barkov, who had 107, Kucherov 101, as well as Dylan Larkin. Patty Kane was up there. Bruce Jenner had 98. Kaprizov 96. Jamie Benn, former Art Ross winner, is going to have 53 goals and 95 points. Speaking of the goals, Kucherov's going to lead with 55, followed by Ben. Crosby was up there. Tavares had 51. McDavid 49. If we take a look at defenseman, Quinn Hughes 91 points is going to lead all D-man. Spurgeon was not far behind though with 87. Roman Josi was pretty good, 76, but he was a minus 22. Samsonov for some reason is dominating the simulation, 46 wins, leading all goaltenders, and for shutouts, it will also be a five-way tie between Georgiev, Gibson, Anderson, and Samsonov, as well as Demko. Another season, another Stanley Cup playoff bracket. Here are our matchups, and in the Stanley Cup final, we have yet again Colorado making it, but they are up against the New York Rangers, so Jacob Trouba finally did something good and not just got suspended. We got Landy versus Trouba. Colorado needs to get the revenge over year number 1. Can they do it? And the New York Rangers are going to go on and defeat the Colorado Avalanche in, I believe, 5 games in the Stanley Cup final, so it was not that close of a series. Colorado yet again losing another finals matchup, first to Tampa Bay and now to the Rangers, as Jacob Trouba has led his squad to a Stanley Cup here in NHL 24, something you thought I never would say, honestly, but we are here. Igor Shesterkin was definitely the rock that held them together, as the Conn Smythe will go to Adam Fox, 3 goals and 21 points. He is the second or third best defenseman in the NHL. It's debatable who's number 2 between him and Quinn Hughes. Obviously, Makar is number 1, as here is the Stanley Cup waiting to be presented to Jacob Trouba and the Rangers for the first time since, I believe, 1994. When they defeated the Vancouver Canucks. Here he is, the best captain in the entire league, Trouba, coming to lift the Stanley Cup as the Rangers have gone all the way. Just like Corey Perry with Connor. Okay, I'm not going to say it again. That's the most overused joke in the history of jokes. Stammer, again, is going to have the most points at 27 for the playoffs, followed by McKinnon, who had 26. Landy had 25. Kucherov was up there. Adam Fox had a good postseason run. Kopitar was point per game with 8 goals and 19 points. Stamkos is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Maurice Richard will go to Kucherov, the Norris to Quinn Hughes. Fox is going to take home the Conn Smythe, Freddie Anderson, the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Alexander Barkov. The Vancouver Canucks at the end of year number 4 are going to win the President's Trophy, winning 53 games, 115 points, followed by the Colorado Avalanche. Winnipeg was up there, LA, Tampa, and Nashville. As Nathan McKinnon is going to win the Art Ross with 116 points, followed by Bruce Jenner, who had 109, and definitely a career high for him. Also 41 goals. Kucherov had 104. Ovi was up there. Landy had 100. Adam Lowry is going to score 40 goals and 100 points himself. And speaking of the goals, Nikita Kucherov is going to lead with 59, followed by Forsberg, who had 52, Ovi 52, Marchand 47. Connor McDavid was up there. Landy, McKinnon, Crosby had a good season. If we take a look at the D-man, Cale Makar is going to dominate, albeit he's not a captain, so I didn't mess with his overall. He's still only a 95. Josi had 81. Quinn Hughes actually had a down season, only 76 points. And for goalies, Thatcher Demko is going to lead and wins with 43. For shutouts, it will go to Linus Ullmark, Vanacek, Gibson, and Decord, who would all have 5 shutouts apiece. And this is our year number 4 Stanley Cup playoff bracket. And here we go in the Stanley Cup Finals. We have the Vancouver Canucks up against the New Jersey Devils. So technically a battle of the Hughes brothers. But obviously, Quinn is the captain of Vancouver, and Nico Hischier of the New Jersey Devils. Which captain will go on and win their very first Stanley Cup in their young NHL careers? Quinn Hughes is going to go ahead and lead the Vancouver Canucks to their very first Stanley Cup in their franchise's history. Also beat his two brothers in Jack and Luke Hughes in 6 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. Vancouver was overall the better team, and they are going to be awarded with the Stanley Cup for the very first time. They literally have never won it before. No riots in Vancouver. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff, as Captain Quinn Hughes is going to prove his leadership to Vancouver, and also going to take home the Conn Smythe Trophy. 6 goals, 24 points. He was a plus 19 on the board. A very good playoff run by the leading defenseman in the NHL at the moment. I mean, outside of Cale Makar, obviously, but regardless of that, there is the Stanley Cup waiting to be presented to Hughes for the first time in his young NHL career. As in season number 4, the Vancouver Canucks are going to go all the way and win their first cup in franchise history. Now in the playoffs, Jack Hughes, Elias Pettersson, and Nico Hischier are all going to have 25 points. Followed by Quinn Hughes, who had 24, Jesper Bratt, 23, JT Miller was up there, Besser had 20 and 11 goals. McKinnon is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross and Hart Trophy, the Maurice Richard to Kucherov, the Norris to Makar. Hughes is going to win the Conn Smythe, Demko the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Barkov, as we have one final season to see which captain is going to lead their team to a Stanley Cup. One more year, boys. Let's go ahead and simulate. Now, at the end of the 5th and final season, Boston will go ahead and win 58 games, the most in the NHL, followed by the Colorado Avalanche. Winnipeg was very good. Vegas was up there. Tampa Bay and Florida at the bottom. We have Seattle, Calgary, and Washington. 3 straight poverty franchises. I mean, I shouldn't really say Seattle. They're new to the NHL. I'll give them a break for now. Nathan MacKinnon is going to have the most points at 119, followed by Crosby, who had 118. Landeskog was up there with 110. Jack Hughes, 109, Bruce Jenner, 105, Marchand, Kopitar, and Jakey Gensel with 103 points. Now, on the goal side, Crosby is going to have 64, leading all skaters, followed by Tkachuk, who had 54. McKinnon was up there, Stammer, 52. Connor McDavid, 51, and Jamie Benn, 49. Erik Karlsson is going to lead all defensemen in scoring with 90 points on the season. And for goalies, Stuart Skinner is going to have the most wins, and the most shutouts will go to Ilya Sorokin, who had 6. And this is going to be our final playoff run of the entire video. Who's going to make the Stanley Cup Finals? Which captains will lead their teams? And yet again, we have Quinn Hughes leading Vancouver to the finals, and they are going to match up against the Tampa Bay Lightning and Steven Stamkos, who has been here 3 times in the video. But which captain is going to ultimately end up prevailing in the 5th and final season? Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? My vote is on Steven Stamkos. And yet again, for the 2nd time in the video, the Tampa Bay Lightning will go on and win the Stanley Cup, led by Steven Stamkos yet again. They made 3 finals, winning 2 of them. The first one, obviously, and in year number 5, so it's only fitting that they go on and beat Vancouver in 6 games in the finals. As I mean, Steven Stamkos back into his prime, 99 overall, probably a 60 goal scorer, something close to that at least. With already an amazing roster surrounded them, Nikita Kucherov is going to win the Conn Smythe, 9 goals and 30 points for him. Another 30-point playoff run by Kucherov, legendary stuff, as Tampa Bay will go on and win their 4th cup of the Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hedman, Andrei Vasilevsky era. As here comes their captain, Stammer baby, yet again lifting the cup for the 4th time in his career, as Tampa Bay in the final season are going to take home Lord Stanley. Now for the entire playoffs, Kucherov will lead with 30 points, followed by Stammer's 28 and 14 goals. Pettersson at 24. Hughes was up there. Nikolai Ehlers was very good, as well as Adam Lowry, who nails a 99, obviously. McKinnon is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Sidney Crosby going to take home the Maurice Richard. Charlie McAvoy, the Norris. Kucherov, the Conn Smythe. Linus Ullmark, the Vezina. And the Selke will again go to Jordan Staal. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. I went ahead and made every single captain in the NHL a 99 overall. And I mean, we had a few that led their team to titles. Some that already did it, honestly, like Tampa Bay. Stammer already did it, and he did it twice in this video and twice in real life. Vegas, Mark Stone, he did it. Obviously, the Rangers, Jacob Trouba was the only first-time winner outside of Vancouver and Quinn Hughes. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.